like lots of people, I've seen the Da Vinci Code and I've heard the rumours that Mary Magdalene in fact had a relationship with Christ, even had children with him, and came to the south of France where that tradition was kept alive over the years and still exists today, hidden up as a kind of mystery. So I've come to the south of France to find out more about who Mary Magdalene actually was, what she means and what her spirit means to us today. Leading the pilgrimage is John Hawken, one of the foremost Tantra teachers in Europe. So John, why pilgrimage?
Well, pilgrimage has a very ancient tradition. I mean, we know in the UK, the Canterbury Tales, and Chaucer says, you know, it comes April, the weather's getting good, people love to go off on pilgrimages. It's a social activity, but it's a holiday with a meaning. It's a holiday with spirit. It's a holy days. Yes, we're in an ancient oak forest, the forest of La Baume, and just above us here is the mountain range, and in that cliff is the cave where Mary Magdalene lived for 30 years, according to the tradition here in Provence. So we're here on the tracks of Mary Magdalene, and we're looking for an image, or if you like, a model of the divine feminine that makes sense to us in this day and age. Because the models that Christianity have given us of being a woman are not very inspiring, neither for the women nor for men living with those women. So you've got Eve, who of course is the model of original sin, is the cause of all our problems. Very good start for anyone. You've got the Virgin Mary, who is just so good it's unbelievable. So if you can't aspire to doing a virgin birth yourself, you kind of give up on that degree of holiness. And Magdalene is the only figure in Christianity where women can feel, yeah, I can identify with that. She lives with Christ, she's a companion. In many traditions she was his lover, other traditions she was his wife. It's a normal social relationship. She's a teacher in her own right. Tradition says she came from the Egyptian mysteries. He learned perhaps even Tantra in India. They were both spiritual teachers. They came together and they supported each other on their mission. And the idea was that after the crucifixion and the resurrection, Mary Magdalene and her companions came to Provence, and they spent 30 years here preaching, holding mystery schools, teaching how to live in a spiritual way.
So I'm here with Gabriela Rimska, who's John's partner, who's been teaching with John Tantra for some years.
Yeah, we've been teaching about 3 years together Tantra, and then we together developed this journey where we wanted to take people to visit these power places as a quest for their sacred femininity, basically look for the places that are related to the life of Mary Magdalene.
So we're in Rennes-le-Chateux, which is quite famous for people that have read the book Holy Blood, Holy Grail, which has been a big influence on the Da Vinci Code. So maybe you can tell us how this place fits into the Magdalene story.
Yeah, so this place, Rennes-le-Chateux, is basically the place of one of the biggest mystery in the Christian church. It was a priest who came here at the beginning of the 20th century, and he started to reconstruct this very old church that was here, and while reconstructing it, he found these documents, suddenly became very, very rich. The several documents that has been found here that should document basically that the lineage between Jesus and Mary Magdalene. They apparently document that they really have been married, then they had children, and these children then became members of the royal families in England and in France.
So do you think it's important for women to look back through history and find strong feminine role models, maybe ones who have been left out of conventional history traditionally?
I think it's very important because it's the way that you can find your own femininity, and because if you are not connected with your feminine side, I feel even if you are successful in the outer world, you are somehow unconsciously unhappy, and many women are like that and they don't know what to do with it, and I feel that it can be the way.
The church was created by men who were interested in their own power, in their own agenda. And the version of Christianity that we have is precisely that agenda, the agenda of the virgin birth, which has absolutely no historical proof at all. Or the agenda of the church as being run by men and women having no place. Or the agenda of the church as being based in Rome and the authority coming from the apostolic succession rather than from any bloodline of Mary and Jesus and their descendants. So Christianity is a story that's been created out of a mixture of historical facts, mythological facts. Christmas, for example, celebrating Christ's birth. Historically, Christ was born in March, but that celebration was moved to the 25th of December because the established religion of Mithras celebrated the birth of the Sun King on the 25th of December. So all of Christianity is about agendas. What do we want to be true? We're simply saying, we're doing that openly, what we would like to be true. The reality that would inspire us is a spiritual teacher, a holy man, living in a sexual relationship and a spiritual relationship with someone his equal, a passionate and yet spiritual woman, Mary Magdalene. There's a French quotation that says, if God didn't exist, we'd have to invent him. And it's the same for Mary Magdalene. If an equal partner, a sexual, spiritual partner for Christ didn't exist, we need to invent her.
I think what I've learnt about Mary Magdalene is it seems likely that she really did come here after the crucifixion and did go around spreading the gospel of Christ, but a more inclusive gospel, a gospel in which women and sensuality could be included rather than ostracised and buried and hidden underground as it was for the last 2,000 years, really. I think Mary Magdalene is an important image for modern men and women because she shows us that you can be spiritual as well as sexual. The life of the body and the life of the spirit are not separate but can both be lived together.